Hey y'all, it's Hannah from Half Acre Heart, and today we are going to be doing a fall seed haul. I'm super excited, mainly because my summer garden is currently completely infested with all the pests and is hating the heat. So I've actually already started some of my fall seeds because I am down in North Florida, zone 9A, so we kind of get to start our fall season earlier. So we're gonna start with what I've already planted or started indoors. Really, I have a nice little setup in my bathroom that I will show you. It's got a weird like purple orange glow right now because of the grow lights, but I will show you my setup in there. But I'm going to be doing some more squash. It doesn't really get like cold here until like late December, early January. So really like into winter, our fall is extremely mild. We don't really expect to get anything below like 60 until the end of October at the very earliest. Really later, and like end of November, beginning of December is when it starts to get like nice outside where you can actually like put away your shorts, maybe, because the weather here, I mean every year I swear it's something different. But anyways, just doing some basic things as far as squash. Black beety, zucchini, yellow squash I'm having the worst luck with. So the ones that I started outside for the spring did not do well at all. Like they stayed super teeny. These are older seeds, so that's probably why. And then also I started some inside, and they took like 2 weeks to germinate, which is crazy. And then I went to go move them outside and I totally snapped them. So no yellow squash. Did start them, but some scallop squash. This is early white bush scallop from FERRY-MORSE. And then spaghetti squash. The spaghetti squash and the zucchini that I started are actually already outdoors getting acclimated. So those will probably be transferred. I really should wait until it cools down a little bit, because this week it's actually like fairly nice. It's in the 80s. But next week we'll probably be back into the 90s. But early September is probably when I should wait too. I don't care. I'm still gonna do it. And then the other thing I have are these baby bear pumpkins. I didn't want to get big, huge ones because I did not want to have to wait that long for them. I know I'm kind of late in the game for those things, but really, once you hit July here in Florida, a lot of the things that you can grow up north in July and August, like you just can't grow down here because it's just too hot. And I'm also having a really hard time with my melons that are outside right now. I have vine borers, so if I had the squash and pumpkin outside in my garden right now, they would also have the vine borers. So there's my squash. And then for leafy greens, I have some arugula seeds from the arugula that I grew last season. And then I'm going to do some more basil. The basil that I have out there is actually doing really well, except this week it did start to bolt. So I've since picked off all of the blooms that I found, but I'm not expecting what I have out there to really last all that much longer. So we're going to plant some more. Love basil. I'm very Italian. I will just eat straight basil all day long. And that is from Baker Creek. I have a couple other Baker Creek seeds. We will be planting some Paris Island Cost lettuce. I did this last season and it did pretty well. I just used it as kind of like, not a microgreen, but I planted them close together and I just took scissors and snip. I didn't do whole heads of this. And then the Rouge d'Hiver, probably not saying that right, lettuce also from Baker Creek. This was a free seed. As you can see, anytime you order from them, you get free shipping and you get free seeds. So that's why I like to order from them. And they just have a really awesome selection of different types of seeds. So I'm going to be growing dinosaur kale as well. And then some little gem butterhead lettuce. These are both from M.I. Gardner. And that is it for leafy greens / herbs. I feel like I just not really great at doing herbs. This is the first year that I've done well with basil. I have some mint and some oregano out there that I did not grow from seed and also is now basically dead. But that's also because the heat. Just blame it on the heat. And then as for peas and beans, I have actually already direct sown some bush beans, Blue Lake from FERRY-MORSE. I've actually had these seeds for a couple years and done pretty well with them. Last year when I planted them though, I did get caterpillars all over them, which I'm dealing with currently with my slippery silk beans. Okay, I do have to say something about these. I have some out in my garden right now. I have one plant that is doing well despite the caterpillars. The other ones have been decimated by the caterpillars. However, none of the pods that I have gotten out of my plants have been this color. They've been green. And it's been like they get to full size or even oversized and they have not changed color. I don't know why. They're just, I could have just gotten regular green beans, you know? So, still gonna plant more. It's fine. And then Sugar Daddy sweet peas, or snap peas. Gonna be growing more of these, a lot more. Last year, my ducks kind of decimated those because I planted them to where they could vine on the fence that they share, which I will not be doing this year because I really like my snap peas, and the ducks will get some, but I would like to have some too. The next thing, carrots. I currently have some carrots outside, and it was really more of an experiment because it's summer, it's not the best time for them. I pulled one the other day, and it is like dry. Got to a good size, but it's, and we have been getting plenty of rain. It's just hot, so I don't know. But the one that I pulled is a black Nebula from Baker Creek, and they definitely will stain your hands a little bit purple. I was pleasantly surprised by just how deep purple that they get. So I would typically just eat these raw, but last night I just took it and shredded it up. So even though it was a little dry and kind of like splintery almost, cooked, it was fine. It was also a little bit bitter. And your carrots, that's probably because of the heat, because with your carrots, if you leave them out and don't pick them until after you have like a real good cold snap, that's what gets them that sweet carroty flavor instead of the bitter. Like, you know, when you buy them from the store and it's just like hit or miss, sometimes you get bitter carrots and sometimes you get sweet carrots. It's the cold snap. The ones that are bitter haven't had that cold snap. So black Nebula carrots, and then some FERRY-MORSE rainbow mixed carrots. I've grown these before. However, I think most of the ones that actually ended up germinating were just the yellow ones. So hopefully these ones I get some more than just yellow. And then I have these long rouge sang carrots. These are also from Baker Creek. So I sowed these with the black Nebula ones, and all of the black Nebula ones, well, not all of them, but most of them germinated. Like, and I literally did half of a grow bag of the black Nebula and the other half these ones. None of these germinated. Don't know why, but they didn't. Still gonna try again. You know, can't ever rule out user error. So, gonna try that again. And then, let's see. Brassicas. So I'm not doing a whole lot of brassicas because I am new to growing brassicas. However, I don't like paying so much for broccoli and cauliflower at the grocery store. I feel like lots of time during the year, they get expensive, and I don't really like to buy it frozen, which I know is cheaper. I like to get it fresh. So I have just 3, and it is purple sprouting broccoli. This is supposed to be one of the easier broccolis to grow because it's a sprouting broccoli and not a head. So I have a lot of research to do on growing broccoli and cauliflower. But I'm doing Romanesco broccoli, and then also some self-blanching cauliflower. This is supposed to be one of the easier cauliflowers to grow because it's self-blanching. MI Gardener again. And then the last, actually not the last, it's 2 more things. Groups, whatever, varieties, not varieties. My children are knocking at the door, so I feel like my brain has just gone scrambled. Categories, and that's tomatoes. So here in Florida, we have 2 tomato seasons. We have early spring, because once it gets too hot, your tomatoes are not going to set fruit, and that happens very early here in Florida. Like I have. All right, so tomatoes. We have 2 tomato growing seasons here in Florida, because it just gets way too hot. Like really end of June through like late August, really. You can have some flowers actually set fruit, but for the most part, your flowers are going to be sterile. Once it gets too hot, I don't know if you can hear them. Your tomato plants just can't set fruit. They're sterile. So like right now, mine look terrible outside, and there's a few that have like some tomatoes growing at this point, but it's because we had a couple cooler days like this week. This week maybe I'll get some more, I don't know, but those tomatoes will be coming out soon. And then our second season is, I call it early fall. September to me, it's fall. And so it'll be like mid-September that I transplant my starts outdoors. I have already started my tomatoes. I will show you in a little bit. So one of the varieties is a WAPSIPINICON peach tomato from MI Gardener. And then we have Crimson Sprinter, also MI Gardener. All of the ones that I'm growing, all the tomatoes that I'm growing for fall are MI Gardener. Ruby's German Green tomato. Black Crim. These are supposed to do really well in Florida. And the pineapple tomato. And the reason that these are all large variety is because since it will be cooler, the large varieties tend to do better in cooler weather. Going forward, for my spring tomatoes, I'm only going to be doing paste and cherry varieties. I will not be doing any slicers for spring. It's just not worth the space that I give them, to be honest. So, tomatoes. And then the last thing that I'm growing is flowers. So I will be planting a bunch of sunflowers, like a lot more than I did this past spring. But I'm also going to be growing some red spike amaranth. This is also from MI Gardener. I haven't started the amaranth, but I have started some straw flowers. So I'm doing apricot straw flowers, silvery rose, and purple red. And then some other things that I have not started indoors yet, but I will be soon. Yellow aster, which I'm very excited about. And I will probably also put out some more zinnias. I have various random giant zinnia seeds, and then I also have the Baker Creek Cupid mix one, which, don't be like me, these are wee little ones, like 1-inch blooms. Which if I would have read the description when I ordered them, I would have known that, but I didn't. So I found out after they bloomed. which is fine. And then I also have a bunch of marigold seeds that I am not going to be planting because my marigolds have reseeded readily outside, so I do not need to start any more of that. But that is all that I'm starting, so let's go take a look at my setup in my bathroom, because really, you gotta use what you have, and I don't have like garage space to start seeds or anything. I didn't want to have to buy another shelf or anything, so I just cleared off my bathroom shelf and have kind of taken over the corner in there to start my seeds. So let's go. All right, so this is my little corner of the bathroom that I have taken over. I have 3 shelves of grow lights. This one fell to no fault of the grow light. It is the, it was the last roll on the tape, or it's not really tape. It's like this jelly adhesive stuff that it came with, and it kept bunching up. So I'll fix that once I put some up there. This one, you can see, has a lot of empty space. That's because all of the squash I took outside. So this is just tomatoes that I haven't up-potted because I didn't have room, and honestly, I don't really need any more. And then these are all the STRAWFLOWERs. This is one of those yellow squash that I snapped off, like literally snapped. And then down here I have my up-potted tomatoes. A couple of them I have 2 to a pot. This is probably more than I need. I mean, including this is definitely more than I need. And down here, not that it's super relevant anymore, this was my way to keep track of what I had planted. So this month, probably towards the end of the month, I'll be starting my brassicas. I'll have to double check my calendar because I did write down when to start everything, when to transplant it and all that. And I have another one of these trays that I just got from the Dollar General. Just $1. I didn't want to have to spend a whole lot of money to do this. What I did spend money on was, why can't I think of the name of this? Soil blocker. There we go. Soil blocker. Spent more money on the soil blocker because it'll last me seasons and seasons. And these they'll last me a couple of seasons, but they are just cheap plastic. So at some point I'll have to replace them, which is fine. So I will be doing another full tray of soil blocks up here of my brassicas, and then I'll be filling this one in as well. And then these guys I'll start to harden off probably towards the end of the month, and they'll be transplanting into the garden early September. All right, so that is my fall 2021 seed haul and everything that I will be growing this season, upcoming season really. But please let me know in the comments where you are and what you will be growing for the fall, if you're growing a fall garden. I always love to see what other people are growing, especially if you're in other regions, just because I find it so interesting, the differences of what you can grow there versus here, and when and why and all that. But make sure that you like and subscribe, and if you want to keep up with me on the daily, follow my Instagram. Bye guys, until next time.